Hi, um, welcome back. So in this video I'll be talking about array methods in JavaScript. So without further ado, I would like to start with array methods. See, actually I have a different file where I have listed all the methods here. So these are not all, but the mostly used array methods that we will be looking at today. There's a small separation between these two groups here. I'll try to cover at least until line 56, which is Concat. These are simple methods that allows you to manipulate your array, adding or removing elements, things like that, and rest of the methods after line 58 here, they're all methods that you will use to iterate over each element and do stuff there. So let's get started with our first method, which is push. So if let's start by creating a new array. My favorite doesn't have to be anything in particular, but I would like to create a list of Pokemons that are my favorite. So these are say my favorite Pokemons, and with like this is how you would define a list, an array in JavaScript, and this already adds all the methods related to array to this my favorite Pokemon variable or constant. So if I go and start trying to do something there, I should already get there you go. So all the methods that you can use from array will be listed already here. So the IDE knows that this variable is an array, so it already suggests you mostly used methods as well as all the rest. So there are quite many methods, which will not go through each of them, but as said, let's begin with push. So push is a method which you will use to push a new element to your array. So array is a data structure where you have something called last in first out way of handling the list, which is called a service. In array it's the other way around. You add to the bottom of the list, and you will when you pop an element, it will pop out of the same bottom of that array. So let's start by adding a new Pokemon. Say there was a suggestion for Mew, just add that. So this will add Mew to the array. I'll keep console logging these so that we say as I showed in my previous video, I can run this JavaScript using Node. I'll just say the same now. Node array.js. So it just logged my favorite Pokemon with all those elements that were that it was initialized with. If I add a new console log there, now I should be able to see one more element in that array on the second log, which is this mu. So it just pushed one more element to the end of the array. If I want to pop or remove any, so pop doesn't require any argument, so what it does is it just removes the last element. So in this case it will be mu. So now if I do pop, what it does is it also returns the element that was removed, and it also updates the array. So if I console log this, say const popped, const popped equals this, and const we do console log popped, and again we'll just paste. So what should now happen is it should log the popped one, which is the last element, which is mu. So it returned mu in that popped variable, and if you see, the array is now again back to original. So push and pop is this way of adding and removing from an array, adding and removing the element from array. That was push and pop, and there is unshift and shift, which is the same thing done on the starting of the array. So those two push and pop methods were working on the last element of the array, whereas unshift and shift does exactly the same thing, but on the first element. Let's just see how that works. So my favorite Pokemon dot unshift mu. So what this should do is this should add mu to the beginning of the array. I'll just comment these out because that is already done. So now what we should see is the list as it's initialized the array, and if you see the second line there has mu in the beginning of the array. Same thing but on the other end, right? So if I want to shift, it's the same. Shift. Let's do exactly how we did pop. Const, right? Log shifted, log my favorite Pokemon. So if I run that again, mu is added to the the top of the array, or first position, and when I shift it, mu is removed. So it returned mu, and then it was removed from the original array. So that's push, pop, unshift, and shift. Very basic way to add and remove element. So sometimes you will have to add or remove elements from different positions, not just the beginning or the end. In such cases, we have other methods like splice and slice. Thing is, I didn't create a topic for each. I created a topic for push, pop, unshift, and everything. So I don't have, like, I didn't group them with push, pop, unshift, shift, splice, slice. But now looking at it, it made sense that way, because I've been talking about these pairs instead of talking about them alone. So splice and slice is a way to remove or add elements in different index, like index you want, where you want. So what splice does is it one thing is it can remove as many elements from the position you ask for, and additionally you can insert more elements in the same position. Let's look at an example. So let's comment this again and say we have our favorite Pokemon. Now I want to add mu just after Bulbasaur. How do I do that? My favorite Pokemon dot splice. This is really freaking me out, actually. I happen to say something and Copilot just does what's on my mind. That's really strange. I don't know how that's related to the code. Probably just, I don't know. But yeah, we were going to splice. I just said exactly this verbally, and here's the code for that. I want to put mu at position 1. The second parameter there, 0, is required if you want to remove any elements from there. So this will just add mu to the index 1, and you'll see Pikachu, Mew, Bulbasaur, and so on. Let's log that again. So now if I run again, as I said, it added mu after Pikachu, which is index 1. So if you're not familiar with arrays indices, index you say it, it starts from 0 and goes on. So 0, 1, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle has index 0, 1, 2, and 3. So it starts with 0. And here, since we said we want mu in at position 1, means at index 1, which is where we see Bulbasaur right now. So we want mu inserted there, and everything just shifts to the right. The rest. So that was splice. We didn't remove anything there, but if you want to replace Bulbasaur by mu, what you can do is just replace that 0 by 1, which will just remove one element after index 1, which is itself Bulbasaur. You can do 2. Oops. You can do 2, which will remove Bulbasaur and Charmander, and you will be left with Pikachu, Mew, and Squirtle. Even you don't have to add Mew at all. Here you removed 2 elements from index 1, Bulbasaur and Charmander, added Mew. If you want, you can just leave it like this, which means you're just removing 2 elements starting from index 1. That's why you'll see Pikachu and Squirtle, right? Bulbasaur and Charmander also removed. And to go from here, what we can do is we can not just add 1, but several elements to it. Mew, Mew 2, Mew 3. That's funny. I wish it knows other Pokemons. Okay. Seems it doesn't care. So not just 1, you can add multiple elements. So what it does is first it goes to the index, the first argument, 1, which is Bulbasaur. It removes 2 elements from there, which means Bulbasaur and Charmander, and then it adds Mew, Mewtwo, and Chansey right in that index, which means it will add 3 more elements, and the remaining will just follow. If I run that again, I'll see Mew, Mewtwo, and Chansey between Pikachu and Squirtle. So that's all about Splice. This is one of the very important method. You will use it probably more often than even push and pop, because there's really not very many use cases where you're doing push and pops, but Splice is quite important. And there's Slice. Slice method is, I think it's self-explanatory. What you can do is you can get a slice of that array. Right. Just like in Splice, you can say from what index and to what index. This is this range where you define, I want from here to here, this portion of this array, and the 3 is the index to the end, which is not included, which is important. Let me see there. So start is the beginning index of the portion of array, and end is the end index. This is exclusive of element at the index end. If end is undefined, then the slice extends to the end of the array. That's some edge case, but important thing to remember is the index you mention at the end is not included. So if you do 1 3 here, 0 1 2 3, so 3 is actually the last element here, which is Squirtle. So what you'll be getting from this is Bulbasaur and Charmander, Squirtle not included. Oops, let me log that. I think I can just move it down here so that I don't have to code it again and again, right? So if I do this, oh, sorry, it's not going to modify your original array. So Yeah, I just got confused. So this is not going to modify your array, but it is going to just create a new array, return it. So I should be assigning this to a new slice, say call it slice, and then I should be logging that slice. So now you will see your new slice is Bulbasaur and Charmander, which is exactly that slice of the original array. So that's slice. Yeah, if you ask me, slice is not that much used as splice, but depends on what use case is. But it's one of the important methods. The other one we are going to discuss is concat. As its name suggests, concat just concatenates arrays. One thing you will need to keep in mind is how you call it. So concat function or method is available in your my favorite Pokemon already. So you can say, okay, concat this array, so this is whatever array you're calling that method from, with this one. So you can put pass in a new array to concatenate with the one you're calling from. So here I can say mu and mu2. So what this should do is this should now give me a new array, say team. So this team should now return both arrays combined. So Pikachu, Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, and Mew and Mewtwo. You can actually concatenate more than just one. So you already have this my favorite Pokemon, this, and doesn't really matter. So Chansey and Blissey, say. This all should be now concatenated to one big array. There you go. The first one goes to Squirtle, second one goes here, and third one here. So that's array concatenation. There are some ES6 syntax which lets you avoid this method as a whole, which makes it easier to read. Reading this, you clearly see the arguments that are being passed, but somehow my favorite Pokemon is going to be part of it. That sometimes may confuse you, but yeah, this is the way you concatenate arrays. That's concatenating. With that, we have come to an end of this video. Hopefully you liked it. If you liked it, please like the video, and if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. That will help me improve my channel, improve my videos. So with that, bye bye.